Collectors and music enthusiasts from all over the 4 states gathered here in Carthage to share that passion. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with those details.
Plus, Wildcat Glades in Joplin hosted a class to teach some area kids about our native fish. And we're heading to Galena for a special family game night.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. The 4 State Record Show hosted its 3rd year of bringing in older collector items into the area, and vendors from all over the 4 states came out to see what they could find. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky checked it out and has more on the collecting community.
Here behind me are people from all over the 4 states checking out records both old and new. But it's much more than that. They're part of a bigger community of collectors.
The vinyl community's been building for about 10 or 12 years now. It's gaining popularity, so a lot of people of all ages are coming out and buying records. They tend to find the Holy Grail type items here that people will bring that they've been hunting online maybe, and a lot of times you'll find those items here.
The 4 State Record Show brought people from Northwest Arkansas all the way through Ottawa, Kansas, like Sean Dickinson with the Ampersand vinyl.
For me, I do this every week. So my business does, I do pop-up record shows in usually breweries, coffee shops, kind of in small towns where they don't have access to record shops. And so shows like this just allow me to have a larger audience and really kind of get the word out there.
It wasn't just records that were on display either. All kinds of collector's items were shown off for people to browse and buy.
We have dealers that have brought CDs, tapes, vinyl, collectibles, and for sale. We do have occasionally some customers that will bring things in that they want to have appraised or try to sell when they're here. But it's mostly a selling event.
In the appeal of listening to music on vinyl, the experience is unlike anything else.
It's just kind of a fun way to listen to music. I have 2 kids. We listen to music every day. It makes you listen to the whole record rather than just hearing a song and clicking on to the next song. And so it's really just a better way to experience music.
And with people coming from all over, attendees had the chance to listen to something new.
We like getting other dealers together from across the 4 states. We've got one from Texas even, so getting them together, they bring some things that maybe you don't usually see in this area. You might get more jazz out of Kansas City or more blues out of Arkansas. So it's a good opportunity to get people together twice a year.
In Carthage, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
The 4 State Record Show will be back in Carthage on Saturday, July 30th. Well, the Wildcat Glades Friends Group is hosting a kids camp, prepping them for the upcoming trout fishing season. Today, they were able to practice casting their rods and creating their own bobbers. It's a great opportunity for kids ages 7 to 12 to get some hands-on experience. And coming out of the pandemic, there's been an increase of participation at Wildcat Glades.
This age group is awesome because they really catch on to more than you think. But when you put that age group in with adults, they maybe get a little bit more shy. But they are really capable of doing incredible things, and we're trying to get everybody excited about trout fishing season, which opens up March 1st.
You can find more information on Wildcat Glades in this story over at KOAMnewsnow.com. A Joplin college student accidentally opened himself up to identity theft when he opened an email. The student received what seemed to be a legitimate employment ad, and that email looked like it came from his college. So he, of course, replied and then applied for the job and received a check later with a letter telling him to deposit it and spend the money on gift cards and then send photos of the backs of those gift cards to the people who sent the check. Now, Stephanie Garland with the Better Business Bureau says it was then the student realized it was a scam.
So he didn't give out his social security information nor his driver's license, so that's great. But he did give out his address, first and last name. The scammer knows it's an active email now because you replied back. So we just want people to be very cautious and be aware that whether you're a business owner and you've got emails coming from that looks like your company to your customers or your staff, or you're a college student, this can happen to anybody.
Over in Galena, Riggs Chiropractic hosted a family fun night on Saturday at the public library. The community was invited out to enjoy some food, play some games, take part in some giveaways, and they were even giving out, get this, free spinal screenings. They say it's a way for them to reach out to their community and give some chiropractic care.
We're just having a family fun night, basically, just a game night. We just really wanted to find a way to reach out to the community and bring people together and, of course, impact them with chiropractic care in any way we could and just spread awareness there.
Riggs Chiropractic says they hope to venture out into the community more often with events like this. Weather was a lot better today, and I understand it's going to look a lot better soon. Nick Kelly joins us.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up the weekend certainly on a good note for tomorrow once again, Chris. But as far as today is concerned, clear skies that we're seeing now, that's what we've seen all day long. That's what allowed us to go from 28 this morning at Joplin Regional to a high of 52 degrees. Not too far off the marks from what's considered normal at this point in the month of February. For the time being, absolutely nothing on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, but the surface map does show a warm front just to the west. That is what's going to help us out with temperatures tonight and to end the weekend on a mild note tomorrow. Right now, we've got some lower in the middle 30s in some spots in our northern counties. Everybody else ranging from the mid 30s to about the mid 40s. But the south wind, it's starting to pick up as we go throughout the rest of the overnight hours. That means temperatures for some will warm, while everybody else gravitates back near 40 degrees to start the morning out. And that strong south wind for tomorrow, even though it's going to be a hold on to your hat kind of day, Chris, we'll have highs in the 60s for after the weekend tomorrow. We'll break down the rest of the week ahead here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Russian President Vladimir Putin is overseeing military drills this weekend in Belarus on Ukraine's border. For the last several days, 30,000 Russian troops have been gathering in Belarus for those mock war games. Russia's defense ministry says the exercise will include practice launches and intercontinental ballistic and cruise missiles. Fred Pletkin is in Belarus and has the details.
Russia's army on the offensive in major live-fire drills with Belarusian forces inside Belarus, but close to the border with Ukraine. Practicing for a massive onslaught, the commander explaining their objective. Today, at the live-fire demonstration, a defensive battle was shown, and then a counterstrike to restore the forces' position along the front line, he says. These troops are part of the more than 150,000 soldiers Russia has amassed around Ukraine, the U.S. believes. Washington fears Belarus could be one of the launching pads for an attack on Ukraine, even though Moscow claims it has no such plans.
In these very tense times, Russia is really flexing its military muscle, not just with these massive drills here in Belarus, but with exercises elsewhere as well, involving some of Russia's most elite combat units.
Vladimir Putin himself oversaw nuclear drills near NATO's borders, involving some of Russia's most dangerous weapons, like the Kinzhal hypersonic air-to-ground missile, or the intercontinental ballistic missile Yars, fired from a mobile launcher. Russia fired missiles from air, land, and sea, showing off the Kremlin's nuclear arsenal. The main goal of the ongoing exercise is to work out actions to inflict guaranteed defeat on the enemy, Putin's top general said. The widespread military power play comes as the U.S. believes Vladimir Putin has already made a decision to invade Ukraine.
I believe that we should continue to try up until the very last minute, until it's no longer possible. But I think if you look at the stance that he is in today, it's apparent that he has made a decision and that they're moving into the right positions to be able to conduct an attack.
Russia denies it will attack Ukraine, but its leadership so far has not announced any timeline for the withdrawal of the massive forces it has placed around Ukraine. Fred Pletkin, CNN, Obuz Livanovsky, Belarus.
And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Specialist Dustin DeBoer served in Iraq, where he received a Purple Heart, among other medals. His hometown, Joplin. We're proud to recognize Specialist Dustin DeBoer, tonight's four-state hero. And remember, if you want to learn more about other heroes, or if you've got one of your own you'd like to nominate, you can do that anytime at KOAMNewsNow.com. Coming up, what NOAA has to say about the upcoming spring season for the nation, and the latest on a shooting at a North Carolina apartment complex that left 2 people dead. Well, if you've had your fill of winter deep bone chill, despite Nick's future forecast here, warm weather is coming and also an environmental problem with it. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association says much of the U.S. will have a warm springtime. NOAA says March, April, and May temps will be above seasonal means in the southwest, central plains, and southern plains and eastern half of the U.S., but it'll be drier in current drought-stricken areas such as the West, Plain States, Lower Mississippi Valley, and Upper Midwest. The drought could be the most widespread since 2013, according to the National Drought Mitigation Center. A shooting at a North Carolina apartment complex today has left 2 people dead. According to the Durham police, 4 people were shot inside the Cadence at RTP apartment complex around 1:30 this morning. 2 men were pronounced dead at the scene, while 2 others were taken to a nearby hospital with life-threatening injuries. The apartment complex is around 2 miles from North Carolina Central University and 5 miles from Duke University. No students were involved in the shooting. COVID cases are in steep decline across the country. The death rate is down slightly as well, though the U.S. is still losing about 2,200 people a day. CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano is in Los Angeles with the latest.
Wall-to-wall crowds in New Orleans this weekend, all celebrating the return of Mardi Gras after COVID canceled festivities last year.
Good time to be out with family and to enjoy it without COVID. No masks, freedom.
America's new optimism is fueled by the sharp drop in cases and hospitalizations. Yet 95% of Americans still live in a high-risk area for infection.
I feel like it's going to be around no matter what.
That live with it sentiment now echoed by the governors of California and Utah. They're shifting their response from a pandemic to endemic.
Let me be clear that this is not the end of COVID, but it is the beginning of treating COVID as we do other seasonal respiratory viruses.
The CDC still recommends universal masking, yet every state but Hawaii has ended or is planning to lift mask mandates. That drastic drop in cases is motivating Americans to dine out, travel, and hit theme parks once again. California lifted its indoor mask mandate last week, but here in LA County, you can only take off your mask if you're outdoors. The indoor requirement will remain in place for several weeks. Lilia Luciano, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Later, we're going to bring you another edition of What Day Is It?
But first, we've got a mild day to wrap up the weekend tomorrow, but is it going to stay mild through much of next week? We'll break down the forecast next. It was nice that we kept things quiet once again today, and certainly with warmer temperatures as well. It's definitely needed after we dealt with our brief wintry system back throughout the middle of this week. Thankfully, no threatening weather whatsoever throughout the course of the day, nor throughout the course of this evening. Still looking at clear skies from Indigo Sky just outside of Seneca, Missouri. The clear skies that we had yesterday overall allowed us to go into the lower to middle 40s, especially around Joplin Regional, and then after dipping back into the upper 20s to near 30, right back into the 50s today. I will turn even warmer tomorrow with 60s on the docket. Unfortunately, that is not going to be sticking with us for too long throughout the course of next week. But in the meantime, nice and quiet at 7th and Range Line, 44 in Joplin with clear skies up top, a south breeze at about 11 miles per hour. That's going to be a big roll in temperatures in terms of where they're going to bottom out as we go through the overnight. 31 in Iola, 33 Yates Center, 35 in Fort Scott. Everybody else upper 30s to now lower 40s. But we're seeing these numbers gravitate toward a general consensus of upper 30s and lower 40s because of a south wind that's picking up. Earlier today, it was out of the south and southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour, but we're tapping into some of those stronger winds out west. Case in point, 13 miles per hour in Springfield right now, and 11 again in Joplin and at the airport. That, with mostly clear skies, means we're looking not only good for the rest of the night, but warmer compared to how we started this morning. Certainly with this warm front passing by, that's going to mean lows around 40 tonight and much warmer tomorrow. Then we got not only just a couple of cold fronts on the way in for Monday night, but this upper low near Vancouver, that's going to play a big role in the forecast again as we head toward the middle of this coming week. In the short term, though, that south wind picking up means temperatures near freezing for some of you will actually rise as we go through the overnight. Then everybody else will just generally hold steady, mainly upper 30s to lower 40s across the board. Didn't mean to do that. Let's rewind. Let me take you through your future track forecast once again. We're looking clear for the rest of the night. Lows right around 40 degrees, south wind at 10 to 20. That south wind, though, kicks up a little stronger tomorrow afternoon at 15 to 25, gusts near 30. That'll push us to 58 at the noon hour and 62. Not just a downtown drop, and I think everyone's fair game to go into the lower to middle 60s to wrap up the weekend tomorrow. So Sunday, maybe a little afternoon cloud cover, but we're looking good to wrap up the weekend. Monday, not much upper level support that I can see, but those fronts coming in from the northwest, that could give us some isolated thunderstorms late Monday, but a better shot for scattered storms mainly Tuesday morning. Then we'll get a bit of a break in the action Tuesday afternoon. There's the upper low coming out of Vancouver. That's going to gain some steam as it sits across the west, and for us, that's going to result in sleet and snow chances late Wednesday, and a wintry mix of freezing rain, sleet, and snow chances for Thursday. I know something we don't want to hear given that we've gone through a couple of potent systems over the last few weeks, but it is something that we'll have to keep an eye on as we go through the next few days, but no threatening weather whatsoever tomorrow. 62, partly to mostly sunny, 73 for President's Day, then 64 early Tuesday morning, dropping through the 30s, and that will set the stage for cold temperatures sticking around throughout much of the week, Chris, and certainly setting the stage for another wintry system Wednesday and Thursday.
Well, these little warm bouts are just a reminder that spring is around the corner. We just got to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, we know winter isn't going to go without a fight, but we are going to see spring wind out soon.
I'm looking forward to that day. Nick, thank you so much. Turning to sports, 3 local athletes with state championships today.
We've got the details on those wrestlers coming up. Plus, the Pitt State men aim to sweep the season series against Southern. Highlights and post-game reaction coming up. Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State women's basketball teams have both clinched a spot in the MIAA tournament. Before then, though, the Gorillas have 3 more games on their regular season schedule, their last one at home tonight. Pitt State hosting Southern for Senior Day. It's the second matchup between these two teams this week. The Lions beat the Gorillas by 15 on Wednesday. Today, first quarter, Tristan Gegg feeds Julia Johnson. Both Gegg and Johnson finish in double figures in scoring. Then Lane Skiles drains the 3. She's got 10 today. Lions shoot 83% from 3 in the first quarter. And get this, it's 32-24 after 1. Later, Lacey Stokes makes the bucket. Lions up 14 at the break, but this game is far from over. Jamie Jackson, bucket and foul. She drops a team-high 23. And then Aaron Davis, far side. Davis gets 17, Pitt within 5. And back to Stokes for a 3 of her own. She fills up the stat sheet yet again, 36.7 rebounds and 7 assists. Pitt makes it close down the stretch but falls short on Senior Day, 77-74.
There was a lot of ups and downs throughout this game, and I think the adversity that we hit early in the game when we were, I don't even know how much we were down, but it looked like a lot when you're looking at the scoreboard. I think when we went in at half, I think we brought ourselves together and made sure that we were staying on top of what our mission was throughout the game, was to stay on defense and make buckets.
In the men's game, Pittsburgh State trying to sweep the season series from Southern. RJ Smith swoops in for the jam. Smith finishes with 10 points and 5 rebounds. Later, Magic Relaford sinks one from deep for 3. Pitt with a 1-point lead at half. To the second, the pass to Tyler Hawkins in the corner. He hits the triple. Hawkins leads the Gorillas with 20 points. Final seconds, 2-point game. Relaford makes the big basket for 2. He ends the night with 14. Pitt State gets the win, 73-71.
We knew they were going to come hungry, and we knew they were going to come for revenge because we ruined their senior night and they were going to try to ruin ours. So we had to bring the fight to them, and that's what we did tonight. We know we can beat them once, so we can beat them again.
I think trusting each other this last 10 minutes, like you just said, was just a big part of everything, like helping, made shots, made big plays, not trying to make the home run play.
District tournaments begin today for a few local schools. McCallie is the number 2 seed in the Class 1 District 5 tournament. The Warriors are coming off a senior night win. Today they hit the floor against Everton for a quarterfinal round matchup. Kennedy Dury hits a long 2 here. She finishes with 26 points for the Warriors. Then Dury to Chloe Williamson in the corner. She sinks the triple. That extends the Warriors' lead. To the third, Everton still fighting. It's Ezra Wood at the top. She gets the bucket. And in the final quarter, Avery Eminger for 2. She drops 22 points. Macaulay cruises by Everton 57-39 to advance to the semifinals. In Class 2 District 13, Jasper and Liberal hitting the floor in the first round. The Eagles come out on top 42-36. Jasper moves on to the semifinals. They will play Marion Seat Early on Tuesday at 6. The finals for the Wrestling State Championships in Missouri are today. We've got a few local champs. In Class 2 at 106 pounds, Monette's Simon Hartline wins. At 120 pounds, Brady Rourke wins the state championship for the second time for Seneca. And in Class 3, Eli Czar from Neosho, wrestling at 170 pounds, also earns a state championship. That's it for sports. More news after this.
Well, give a high five or a hug to a veteran today, specifically women vets. It's National Vet Girls Rise Day. The day honors the women who put their lives on the line to protect the U.S. About 2 million women have answered the call to serve and are now veterans. Military women have been around since the Revolutionary War, although they often weren't recognized for their service. But now, women who choose to be soldiers are praised for their abilities. So take time today to honor those women and thank them for their sacrifices. Something that we've got to just be ever so careful with is this forecast, because it's a little tricky.
Yeah, but not tomorrow. It's pretty straightforward. A little breezy at times, sure, but partly to mostly sunny. Highs are 62. It's a great way to wrap up the weekend. Then I got a system taking us from 73 on Monday into the 30s on Tuesday. Then another system, I hate saying this, another shot for wintry weather. We've got several days to watch it, though. We'll keep you updated on that.
I hate when you have to say that, but we'll take what we get.
It fits Doug's pattern, so we got to say it.
That's true. That's true. Danny, final check in sports.
Rivalry week games. I always get tongue-tied on
Me
that
too.
one. The Missouri Southern women get the win over Pitt State, and the Pitt State men get the win over Missouri Southern.
Now, don't feel bad. I couldn't say special earlier, so we all have those days. Guys, thank you so much. That is our time for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow night, and thanks for making us part of your night.